We are live! I should have had my applause music. Hi, guys. Hey, I want to see who's in the chat. Who's here? Let's do the roll call. Oh, y'all have already been in the chat while I was trying to deal with tech and stuff. Oh gosh, okay, wait, I gotta read. Hey there, Boogie Down Bronx. Okay, thought it was me. Okay, wait, let me start at the bottom. Y'all been blowing up the chat and I was trying to log in. Hey, everybody! Welcome to the 6 secrets publicists don't want you to know. I hope I can keep up with the chat. So let me see where everybody's coming from. I see some of my Mavericks up in here. I see some of my old head Mavericks. I see some of my new Mavericks who just signed, and I'm seeing all the future Mavericks. And y'all are showing up to play with TJ. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna have a good time. It's 5:15 where I am. I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm so happy that you have decided to share this time with me. So I'm going to show you a quick video that can actually, that whole thing of video or actions speak louder than words, and video is like, 10,000 words. So I'm going to share my screen for a bit because I want to show you the intro video. And can you hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, I'm going to try my best to keep up with the chat, okay? Oh, you are the bomb, TJ. Oh, thank you. My energy is contagious. First time hearing me. Yes. I love what I do. So thank you for showing up to play with me. So let me just give you a couple of housekeeping things. Okay, so good. Y'all can hear me. So this particular platform, there's a 30 to 45 second delay, perhaps. By the time you hear me go, hey, it's TJ, it's probably 30 to 45 seconds of delay. And I've already paid a subscription for this particular platform, and it hadn't expired yet. So I'm wasting my money changing the platform. But I found a fun way to actually, yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, good. Shauna's having trouble connecting. I'm working on it. Okay, gotcha. Intuitive energy. Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm trying to catch up with everybody. So, but I've come up with a fun way that we can still engage. Stephen says, thank goodness for the delay in case you say explicit things that needs editing. Yeah, is that Stephen who always logs into my scope? Is that who that is? All right, so I'm going to play the video, and we're going to take it from there. Hold on. Of course, there we go. So let's see. I want to make sure, there we go. I want to do that. And hello and welcome. I am Tawan Mercer, but my friends call me TJ.
I am in the edit bay. Some of you guys probably don't know, but I am a TV editor by trade. It's actually my first love. I've been doing it for 20 years and worked on several shows. And right now I'm working on Animal Planet's adorable hit show called My Cat from Hell. If it were up to me, that cat would be dead.
Hey, you're not gonna hold me to my past. I am standing firmly on my present so I can walk boldly into a phenomenal future. Cause I got oops, all access pass.
Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with TJ. Tuesdays with TJ. Your resilience muscle workout.
Okay, what inspired this?
Actually, 40 Days Till 40 is my transition of going from fearful to fearless.
Hey, this is Sherry Shepherd. I just have to tell you, I love 40 Days Till 40 because she realizes by being honest, she opens the door for healing in other people's lives.
She's also the author of this book, So You Want to Be on a Reality Show, Insider Tips to Make the Cut.
TJ Mercer is an author and coach for people who aspire to be on reality TV.
Many people are asking, how do I get into one of those shows? Well, TJ Mercer helps teach people what reality casting directors are looking for.
If you get a call from a casting director, that is not the time to be shocked. That is time to let them know that you are so excited that you got to call. You better scream at the top of your lungs if you're not at work. If you're at work, you need to tell them I'm at work, and so I'm screaming and whispering.
If you're looking for a powerful speaker and you're looking for someone to rock your audience, you need to bring in TJ. I've got people in my series like TJ Mercer, the reality coach and the resilience muscle workout. She is a beast. TJ is one of the most powerful speakers that I've encountered.
You know, it would take hours of video to get through what I have to say about TJ.
Girlfriend is on the chain.
TJ was speaking at another engagement that I was at, and I was really touched by her story. I was inspired by her life. I think she's amazing.
So people look at me as, okay, I'm a TV editor, a reality TV coach, a resilience expert. I got a whole bunch of titles now. I think about it.
TJ is off the hook.
Okay, so that is, oh, I see you clapping, Sean, down there. That is me. That is who you're going to be spending the next 90 minutes with. And you can kind of see why they call me the walking exclamation point. They call me the big gulp. And I'm often called Mama Maverick. So I promise you, if you just let me for the next 90 minutes, just let me show up and pour into you, I promise I'm gonna give you all I can. But know that there's 20 years of stuff floating up in this head, so I can't give it to you all, but I'm giving you what I can. Deal? Oh, there go one of my Mavericks. I just saw him pop up. Donatologist Todd Jones. So let me change into my slides, and we are going to get rocking and rolling. So can you tell me if you can see my slides, guys? Can you see my slides? I want to make sure you can see my slides. And while I'm waiting on y'all to catch up to me, tell me when you hear this. Tell me when y'all hear that. Okay, slides are present. Okay, so you should be listening to TJ. If you wonder how, that should be a how, not who. If you wonder how some people become experts in their niche on shows like The Today Show, The Good Morning America, Steve Harvey. Yes, Adrian, you identified that as the Pink Panther. And you should absolutely be listening to your TJ. I'm your TJ for this time that we have together. I am all yours. You should be listening to me. If you have a book or a product or message that you absolutely need people to hear about. And then you should be listening if you are an entrepreneur who may be an author or an expert and you're on a budget. Okay? Is that it? Okay, author on a budget. It seems like you guys are not that far behind me because I literally just said that, Robin. And I see you typing in the chat. So the delay is not as bad as I thought. Okay, so you should also be listening to me if you have called your local stations in your city and you've got nothing but crickets. Does that sound like, does that ring a bell? And you should be listening to me if you want to learn how to be your own publicist for a fraction of what an actual publicist costs. Okay, good. I'm seeing in the chat. So y'all not too far behind me. So that's good. There's really no delay. They fixed that. Yay! But kind of not because I had a fun thing planned for you guys. But oh well. Definitely a baller on a budget, says Nicole. And you should be listening to me if you want to get more exposure with less effort. Alicia, I have no audio. Everybody else seems to be getting audio. So either refresh your screen, hit the refresh button to reload, because unless everybody else is telling me okay, Denise, you're in here. Okay, so I didn't realize that you were here. So Denise, you'll handle that tech for me. Good. Now, I want to be clear that the title of the webinar, the virtual masterclass, is 6 Secrets Publicists Don't Want You to Know. But that is no shade towards my publicist, all right? My girl Jessie is a publicist, and she is a media maverick. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But this is a class where I'm talking about the publicists who are not heart-centered, who don't, who are in it for the money. I'm talking about that. So this is no shade. I don't do shade. That's right, Stephan. This is no shade for my publicist, because I love the good publicist. And Jessie is definitely one of them. So I want to make that clear. I don't want y'all telling people that I'm over there talking about publicists. Nope, that's not the case. But when you get a good publicist, and understand something, when you are one of my media mavericks, the goal is for you to get so busy that you have to have a publicist. Understand me. I want you to get to that level that you have to have a publicist. All right. So how is this going to go down for the rest of the time? They can't come for you too. So how does this go down? It goes down that I'm going to walk you through the secrets first. Then I'm going to show you how to make those secrets work for you. Meaning, I'm going to show you how do we minimize the chat box. I don't know, Leah. Denise, can you answer that perhaps? I don't know how you minimize the chat box. If anybody else in the chat can help Leah, because I don't know. Ty says, good publicist here. I love your lessons. Yay! So Ty, so you see what I'm saying? No shade, Ty. No shade. I'm talking about the bad publicists who don't really do their job. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to apply the secrets, and I'm going to teach you what I did to book myself around the country. I booked myself only with my cell phone and my laptop, and I didn't use any of my Hollywood connections. I used only my system. And if you follow me on Periscope and all those places, I teach you from my mistakes. And when I booked myself on Houston, that was the hardest thing for me to do. And that's what I built the system on. That's what Media Mavericks is built on. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. And I'm going to teach you how I actually got this text while I was getting my hair did, getting all cutified. And it was from a friend connected to the Fox News channel. And she texted me to tell her to call me when I got a moment. So I text her back, hair's in the shampoo bowl right now, give me a few. And then then she responded, glad you're doing your hair. Can you tape a TV segment tomorrow, Beyond the Dream for Fox News Channel? Now, do you want to know, guys? Blow up the chat box. Do you want to know how I did a Fox News Channel interview with less than 24-hour notice for a book that I had not even written one line? That book right there, when I did that interview, I had not written one line of the book. The host on the right had no idea until I told him after the fact, when I sent him a copy of the book, and I told him, I hadn't written the book when you interviewed me, right? But do you want to know how I nailed that interview to the point where he serenaded me afterwards? Okay, good. I see you. Yes, we want to know. Will there be a replay? Yes. Is that Chari? I don't know how to pronounce it. Your replays will hit your inboxes in the morning. So then I'm going to teach you that. And then I'm going to show you or invite you into how do you become a media maverick. A media maverick, my Media Mavericks Academy is for you if you're an author, a speaker, or an entrepreneur who is tired of being the best kept secret in your industry. Anybody can relate to that? If you're just tired of being the best kept secret. For the longest, if you've been on my Periscope, I talked about I have been a best kept secret. This Media Mavericks Academy is for you if you are exhausted from the hustle and the struggle, and you just wish that something could just take you to the next level of your game. then you might want to consider playing with me in Media Mavericks. Shauna Naylor's one of my Mavericks. Media Mavericks who are in the chat, who are here, whether you old head Media Maverick or you just signed up for the Mavericks, make some noise in the chat, represent. So then this is Media Mavericks is for you if you want a competitive advantage over others who are similar to you, in similar markets as you. So all things considered equal, when a customer or a client comes to your website, your prices are the same, your quality is the same, but on your website, they actually, it says as seen on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. Who do you think they're going to choose? So that's what we're going to cover. And then I'm going to actually, for those of you who have registered, you know I gave someone an opportunity for me to do their segment live, and I'm hoping they're in here. I'm really hoping they're here, but I've written a sample segment that one of my Mavericks, Shauna, who is also at the bottom of the screen in the blue background, wave Shauna so they can see you. She is going to read she's going to read the script that I created for the person that I chose, and then after that, we are going to do some Q&A so you can ask me all things media. Tamara, I see you, future Maverick. I see you. All right, so social media. You can pretty much find me at Reality TV Coach everywhere. And every weekday at 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm on Periscope dishing out media tips. And some of you are coming from there. So that if you're on my Periscopes, let the chat know. My Periscopes, I dish out the juice every morning, every afternoon. Okay, so that's where you can find me. The hashtag for today, you can blow up your social media with the hashtag Media Mavericks. All right. So just a little more background of me. So for those of you who follow me on Scope, you know this. So for the new people, who wanted to get some TJ into their lives for a moment, like I said, I am a retired award-winning television editor. I started out on the launch team of Extra. And from there, I went to the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And depending how old you are, if you remember when the Monica Lewinsky and the Bill Clinton scandal happened, all of those skits on the Tonight Show was my work. And so I've bounced around on several networks, from ABC to NBC to Bravo to VH1 to A&E to MTV. I pretty much have bounced around. And so then I actually spent about 8 years in the DVD and publicity genre, where some of my projects included The Incredibles and Shrek, Princess Diaries, The Chronicles of Narnia, Cinderella, Jungle Book, Cars. Pretty much, if you got kids that have Disney films in it, you probably are holding my work and didn't even know it. And then from there, I went into the reality TV genre. And you can see my work on The Bachelor and Swamp People and My Cat from Hell, LA Hair, R&B Divas, Clean House. And finally, last Tuesday, I'm coming up on 1 year retirement of Bar Rescue. That's the show I actually retired from when God told me it was time to hang up my editor hat and move into a new season. Shanika says my kids have all those movies. Yeah, so you pretty much are holding my work, Shanika, and you didn't even know it. So this is an opportunity. Blow up the chat. How could TV help you? Blow up the chat for me. How could TV help you? How could TV help you? Let's see. I don't know how long the delay is, so I'm gonna try to find some music because I don't know how long the delay is. It didn't seem to be long a few minutes ago, but I'm keeping my eye out on it. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Okay, good. So I'm not too delayed. Okay, so spread my comedy to the masses, get my message out there, visibility, brand exposure, more exposure to help others, increase tribe, new fans and new eyes, my story and breakthrough, brand building. Okay, so y'all are blowing it up. Yes, okay. So then I want you to hear from a person who, this is T. Jones. And because I want to make sure that you know that what I'm teaching you is really what the producers actually want. So this is T. Jones, and I had her record a quick video for me, and I want you guys to hear it. Let me make sure. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can share the right. Okay, so you're going to see my screen cascade. So somebody tell me when they can see the screen cascade. Happy days. Yes, okay, you got that. So let me know when you see my screen cascade. And you're just going to see a bunch of windows. Yes, okay, good. So this is T. Jones.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl T. Jones. Not to be confused with Tej, the Maverick, the superstar, the maven of lighting dreams and all that good stuff. I'm your girl T. Jones. I'm actually a producer who has produced for shows like The Real, Sunday Best, American Idol, Dr. Phil, you name it, I've done it, okay? So I understand as a producer when you're trying to book someone what it is exactly we're looking for. We're looking for people who come ready, who come a little bit more ready than most would think. If you have a book you're pushing, if you have financial advice you're pushing, if you are a fashion stylist or some kind of expert, we want you to come ready and understanding how to talk on camera. We want you to know, we want to feel like you could take over the segment at any time, because you get 4 to 5 solid good minutes in a segment, and that may seem like a short amount of time, but it's not. It's actually a long time in TV time. And so as a producer, we're constantly looking for the great sound bites. And so anybody who wants to be on television, who wants to push their business, who wants people to kind of be into what they're saying, I wouldn't suggest, I wouldn't recommend, I would demand that you come, before you come to me, that you've been through Tej, and I call her Tej, but that you've been through Media Mavericks. It's more than important that you go through Media Mavericks, because what she does and how she teaches, first of all, she's a beast at teaching it. She's a beast at getting the best out of the people that eventually want to sit in front of me and say, hey, I want to be on your show. She's a beast at getting people like me to notice her Mavericks. She's a beast at it. She is pure infotainment, top notch, top dog, pure infotainment. If you ever hear her speak, if you ever go to a seminar or a conference and you get a chance to hear Tej speak and talk about how you get booked on television, how to get from point A to point B and be ready, be media ready, media savvy, that is money, time, energy well spent. I'm telling you what I know, not what I think. I'm telling you what I know. And so I want you to understand that this woman is going to make sure that you walk away from her and go into your next level ready and prepared. And there's nothing better than being ready and prepared, because your success is opportunity plus preparation meeting. That's success. And so if you want success, I suggest, nope, we're not suggesting, are we? No. I recommend. We ain't recommending either, are we? I demand that you get yourself signed up for Media Mavericks. Otherwise, don't inbox me. Don't send me emails when you see my name on credits talking about well, I have a book, I have a human interest story, I have some beverages or anything like that, until you've seen Tej, the beast at Media Mavericks. What's up, everybody? It's your girl T.
Okay, so I wanted you guys to see that only because T had never heard me teach Mavericks. Shauna, I saw that. She had never heard me teach Mavericks until we actually sat on we did an event together, and after it was over, when she told me how I blew her away, I wanted her to record this so that you can know. Okay, well, I'm gonna go with that. You can know that what I'm teaching you is coming straight from the horse's mouth. Okay, I wanted you to see that. So can you see? Are we back to my slides? Are you seeing my slides? Are you seeing my slides? I want to make sure. Shauna, you seeing my slides? Okay, I can keep moving because I forgot you don't have a delay since you're in the room. Okay. So if that's the case, if T. Jones called you from The Real, if Oprah called, if Steve Harvey called, if Dr. Oz called, would you really know how to leverage it? Would you really know how to put it down so that you could get the viewer from the screen to your website? Would you know? How many people would know really how to do that? Because, and the one thing I want to say, guys, and everybody who knows me knows, I wake up every day with asking God, could I be somebody's answered prayer? And if Shauna says yes, now that I'm a Maverick. Robin says nope. No. Adrian says no. Cara says yes. Good, Cara, that you would be ready. Rochelle says no. June says, I am so ready. Good. Steph said, I know, but only because of media training. My first TV interview was a mess. Okay, I do not. Okay, so if you just spend this time with me, I promise that I'm going to give you all I got to get you on your media journey. And the reason why, I asked you that question is, this is back in 2012 when I did my very first TV interview. And it was in my hometown where I was there to promote my book. Yvette says, Aurora says, I'm going to get ready. More ready after you, says Carol. Katrina, I believe so, but had training. Okay, good. So I was in my hometown. I had written this book in a matter of a week. I hate writing. And I had gone back home to Jackson, Tennessee, kind of in my head, a hometown girl does good. She's an award-winning television editor with all of these big-time credits on her resume. And so I booked quite a bit of media, and there was the book, 40 Days to 40. So that was the book I wrote in a week and published it in 90 days. And it won 3 Beverly Hills Book Awards and was downloaded almost 10,000 times in 2 days on 6 continents. But before all of that happened, I actually had done several media interviews, from television to radio, and nothing happened. No one really showed up at my book signing. No one really came out, to hear me speak. I had a speaking engagement. And it was a little bit, disappointing, because after all, I got stuff to tell these people. Don't they want to hear what the award-winning television editor has to say? Don't they want to hear how I can change their lives? Don't they want to know how? It was just baffling. And I was so disappointed about it. And then I remember my sister, saying, well, just keep trying and doing it again and again. And the fact of the matter is, I was like, no, I'm not doing anything else until I figure out what I did wrong. There's no sense of doing more media if I keep doing it wrong. And then I figured it out. And the cold hard truth is, I forgot some things. I forgot that I wasn't a celebrity. It's the celebrities that can get away with shameless promotion. Everyday people like us cannot. They can get on there every day and talk about their latest film, their latest book, their latest album. They can talk about nothing but themselves all day, and it's totally fine. But everyday people like us cannot do that. And then the biggest lesson I learned, and this is kind of where Mavericks, the initial seeds of Mavericks started being born. The thing that I learned was that my ego and my career showed up to those interviews. I didn't show up to serve the audience at all. It was all about, look at me. Now, I know none of y'all got egos. I know that ain't none of y'all story, because y'all are all very humble and about all of your achievements. I know that I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about me now, okay? So it was my ego, and look at my career, and look at what I've done and what I could achieve. I didn't show up to serve the audience. So what drive did they have to come out and to sign a book for me? Had I drilled down and told them about, having, 2 abortions, had I told, and having to actually deal with the guilt of losing a child, having to deal with being in a domestic violence situation, just maybe if I'd shown up and actually let them relate to me, as opposed to my ego, then perhaps that would have not been the case. But let me tell you something. I got some get right, and I learned my lesson. Because by the time my second book came out, I had learned my lesson. I was booked on ABC, NBC, CBS, CW, and Fox in the top 10 markets. I became an international best-selling author. That's where, you know, the 40 Days to 40 ended up being downloaded 10,000 times in 2 days on 6 continents. And I did it without being a celebrity and without hiring a publicist. Now, going forward, you'll hear me talk about media mavericks versus media wannabes. So I just want to give you like 4 distinguishing factors. Lord have mercy, I have a lot of relatable stuff. Katrina, share your story. Ego, edging out. Yes, edging out God. That's exactly what I did. So the difference between a media maverick and a media wannabe. A media wannabe, and I want you guys, you know, for those of you who are saying, I want to be a maverick, I want to be a maverick. Here is what sets a maverick apart. And my mavericks who are in the room, they will tell you, I drilled this in them in our Facebook group all day, every day. A media wannabe shows up to promote, but a media maverick shows up to serve. A media wannabe shows up and is only tuned to WIIFME. Somebody said my slide is, I don't know how to make it clearer. I'm sorry that my slide is blurry. It's not, slides are blurry, they are. Let me see if I can blow it up a little. Hold on. Nope, that's not gonna do it. Okay, so slide to clear up. I'll keep an eye out, okay, guys, and then you can tell me because I didn't do anything different, so I don't know why the slides went blurry. So just slides are fine on my end, a little bit, okay. Okay, so we just listen to then what I'm saying. So a media wannabe is always tuned into station WIIFME. What's in it for me? But a media maverick stays tuned into WIIF-TV, TL, TR. What's in it for the viewer? What's in it for the listener? What's in it for the reader? And then a media wannabe goes in without a strategy. But the one thing I teach my mavericks is you're going to go in with a strategy so that you know how to control your segment respectfully. And then finally, a media wannabe shows up to do an interview. But a media maverick just wants to show up and have a conversation. 2 people talking to one another. And Shauna can relate to that. I see her nodding her head because I drilled that into her when she was getting ready for her appearance on The Doctors. So now with that said, secret number 1 is you can get in where you fit in. Meaning, kept pushing the Leah. Sorry, trying to type, but kept pushing the button. Okay, gotcha, Leah. What that means is you can study the TV landscape yourself. You can study and figure out what shows you are a good fit for. Yes, the Spanx lady did her own PR too. Yes, Ty, exactly. You can do this yourself. So for those of you who are saying you don't have the budget, this is what I'm walking you through what you can do for yourself. And the way to actually put that in action is some of you who want to be on The View, The Today Show, The Steve Harvey Show, The Dr. Oz, The Rachel Rays, The Wendy Williams. The way to do that is to start in your own local markets and work yourselves up. And you have to study the landscape and figure out what shows are a good fit for you. And that requires doing some homework. Teach, you still there? I don't hear anything. Can y'all hear me? Somebody, Shauna, can you hear me? Okay. So I'm thinking the chat can still hear you. So Lachelle, refresh your page. So you have to do your research though. And I wanted to, once again, I'm trying to actually make sure y'all understand, I'm not just teaching y'all from my own experience. I'm backing this up. So this is my girl, Roshonda. I will admit, I figured out local market in Charlotte, LA, local market feels giant. Yes. And that's a good point, Stephan. Let me go back and pick that up. The one thing, when you become one of my media mavericks, I don't allow you to really start in markets higher than number 31 if you've never done media. Because I want you to make sure that you make your mistakes in a Jackson, Mississippi, in a Biloxi, in a Albuquerque, in a Dayton, Ohio, in the smaller markets, okay? And you work yourselves up so you can get comfortable on camera. Now, going back to when you do your homework, Rashonda is an executive producer of a station in South Carolina. And I asked her, Ro, what is the one thing you want to do? You want me to make sure I tell them. And so this is the message she sent. Please tell people to do their research. And for those of you who were on the scope that day, when I talked about make sure you study the market, Roshonda didn't even see that scope. This is exactly what she sent to me. That's within a few minutes of me doing that scope. So she says, tell people to do their research. At the very least, watch the show to see what kinds of guests I usually have, the overall tone of my show, and the host or the anchor names. It surprises. Oh, it was a Kanye West. Yes, it was a Kanye. Thanks, Adrian. It surprises me even with Google. I will get pitches that do not fit my show or my demographics. Study, study, and study. Oh, and while I'm on my soapbox for the PR folks, do not tell me in an email how your pitch is a great fit for me. Let me decide on this, and don't say you once worked in TV or understand how it works. It comes off condescending. And then she put, woo, now that that's off my chest, thanks for asking, and I hope that helped. So you hearing it from an executive producer themselves of, you can pitch them, but you got to do your homework first. Secret number 2, you can newsjack. I posted this in several groups the other day and had no idea of how people would start really resonating with the term newsjack. So newsjacking. I was drinking some water. Newsjacking, Ty, love hearing it from the source. Yes, I'm going to I'm a good source, but then I was like, okay, no, I need to give them somebody else too. So newsjacking is the art of experts butting into the conversation of a breaking news story. No, I can't wait to be able to, okay, what? I don't know what that is, Kim. I don't know what that is. I think it's doing some autocorrecting on you. But the way that looks is, like I think it was yesterday, I did a newsjack scope. Told me what I was doing. I jacked news a lot, but didn't know until, okay, I got you. She can't wait to be a map. Oh, that's what she meant. Thanks, Shauna. Newsjacking, I did a scope yesterday, and I put the challenge out to people. How can you newsjack the Kanye West story about what's happening in the media? Yesterday, I posted on my Facebook page about this doctor who was an 18-year-old passing himself off as a doctor. And so I put a call out to, health practitioners and health professionals and physicians. How can you newsjack that story and pitch your local market and talk about how patients can protect themselves? So whatever that is for you, you have to read the headlines so that you can newsjack the story. And then you craft your segment around it. And what I teach is I call it drilling down your genius. So you're only going to have 3 to 5 minutes to actually do a segment. How many of you have like at least 5 years of expertise of what you do in the world? Who has like five years at least of expertise? While I'm waiting y'all to catch up. Good. Okay, so then that's a lot that you have to drill down into 3 to 5 minutes. I did a scope. I called it, what did I call that scope? Show up with spunk. So if you go to Catch, somebody type this in the chat for me. Go to catch.me/reality TV coach. You can see my past scopes. And look for the one that I did on how to show up with spunk. And spunk is the acronym. Thanks, Shauna. Spunk is the acronym. But that is not the time where you show up with all of your expertise. You've got to drill that stuff down and craft it into a great segment. Perfect example is one of my mavericks is Patrice Washington. And you may know Patrice, she's Steve Harvey's money expert. And so Patrice, she wasn't my client, of course, when she started doing Steve Harvey. But I started working with her as she was preparing to go out on her book tour right now. And so she and I worked together, and she discovered that she didn't really have a strategy for her media tour. and that she had been operating with all of these appearances without going in with the strategy. So when she came to me thinking she was going to do hashtag I can earn more. The first thing I changed was, no, Patrice, you're going to change that to something more powerful. I will earn more. So I spent about 4 hours with her, prepping her for her first appearance after working with me was with Fox and Friends. She did Fox and Friends, knocked it out the park, sent me a text to tell me to go look at her Facebook and her Instagram page, and it was blowing up on the segment that I crafted called Earn. Her segment was around EARN, earn. And so people were blowing up her social media pages asking her, where do we get to earn? Where do I learn more about earn? Now, Patrice has been in this finance game for a long time, but I had to help her drill down that into 3 to 5 minutes of her doing live TV. Steve Harvey's not live. Doing live TV is way different than doing a recorded interview where there's going to be some editing. So she did it and knocked it out the park. But she sent me a text and told me that she had also had 2 speaking engagements of her. You saw that segment, Vanessa? Yeah, that was my girl. I was screaming at the top of my lungs because she nailed her Fox and Friends segment to the point where Fox News in Atlanta reached out to her after that segment and said, can you come and do a segment for us in Atlanta? So, yeah, you have to learn how to craft your segment. Third secret. You can be a guest first. So you know how, Steve Harvey and different kinds of shows will actually put a call out. If you are a woman who is 40 years old and have never, been married, or if you are a woman with 20 kids, right to the show, you could be a guest. Or if you are a man who, those kind of things, when they put out that call. Well, a secret is you actually go and apply to be the guest, because what can happen? You go and be a guest on the show. You then get to have a one-on-one connection with the producer, and you can actually pitch the producer. How do I know that can work? Because one of my mavericks is Tara Kennedy Klein. Tara is an in-your-face parenting expert. She's got like 2 million listeners on her podcast. She wants to be a TV host, and she applied to be a guest on the Dr. Oz show, where she was moms who can lose weight while on vacation, and when she applied for it, and they invited her. So when she told me they invited her, I gave her what to pitch, because I know what she does in the world. So I told her exactly what to pitch. Got to make the donuts. Good luck, future marriage. Bye, Todd. Thanks for coming. Todd Jones in the chat, guys. He is if you cut him, he bleeds glaze, because he actually makes these grown-up donuts that are liquor infused, and I'm tickled that I've never gotten to taste it yet, but he's one of my mavericks. Thanks, Todd, for coming to play with me. Got to go make the donuts, baby. But anyway, so back to Tara. So I told Tara what to do. And about an hour after she was on the show, she called me, and she was screaming at the top of her lungs. And she was screaming, they liked it. So then they loved her pitch. So then Todd is in Atlanta. So they loved her pitch, and they started opening up a conversation about bringing her back as a guest. So do you see how you can go in the door absolutely a different way? Secret number 4, you pitch yourself. I've been saying that pretty much, but you can actually pitch yourself. And what that can look like, I'm going to give you what the elements of every pitch you should do. And a pitch happens on the phone, or it happens by email. Email sometimes don't work. They won't look at it. But here are the elements of a pitch. It must have a hook in the subject line that grabs the producer's attention in the first few sentences. So it's got to hook them, and I did a scope on that, where you got to hook them, and you got to say it like that. You got to hook them and reel them in so that they can open up the email. And in the first few sentences, you have to grab their attention. You need to state the problem. What is the problem that in your lane of expertise, what is the problem that people have? You back up that problem with statistics. Okay? You back up the problem with statistics. Then you state your solution. How do you solve that? What is your solution? She's the reason I'm here. Who's the reason you're here, Victoria? Who's the reason you're here? Maybe I missed part of the chat. But you state your solution. From there, you then show off your street cred of why are you the expert? Is it something you experienced and lived through? Or is it something you teach? Did you write a book on it? Do you study it? What is your street cred? And finally, obviously, your contact information. And I did a scope just today on how I blew an opportunity of a potential client because I forgot my contact information. So I'm gonna give you guys time to catch up to that. So when you hear this sentence, say, TJ, we caught up or something, okay? So say, TJ, we caught up, because I don't want to go too far past you. Shauna, you don't count because there's no delay when you're in the room. Okay, Jim Ray is caught up. Okay. Wow. I'm telling you guys, it has never been this small of a delay. It's just amazing to me. So I'm thanking God for this, this hookup, because he hooking us up. Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit about Pitt. This is one of my mavericks, Amanda. I met Amanda when I spoke in British Columbia, and Amanda signed up to be a maverick, and she is a former circus acrobat. And once she signed up, we were standing in the back of the room just kind of talking, and I told her what a pitch is. I told her she was having an interview or something that was coming, and I said, okay, so when you do the interview, I also want you to pitch them, this idea. And she did. And they came and did the interview. She pitched them during the interview. They came back the next day and did the pitch that I had just given her. Mind you, she hadn't even been a maverick for a solid hour when I hooked her up with the pitch. So it really is all about the pitch. That is how you're going to get your foot in the door. Secret number 5. I feel like it's like the Steve Harvey show when, he's going through the top 10. And, what are you doing, Sean? Oh, you holding up your number 5. And y'all supposed to go, number 5. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit too much fun. Okay, so you can knock it out the park and establish your own relationship with the producer. Okay? You can actually, when you do a good job, and that producer, you showed up and served that audience and you stayed tuned to WIIF TV, then you can get the producer's card yourself. Okay? And what I mean by that is when, back to Patrice Washington, she had done all of these, segments across the country, but she wasn't collecting her own, because a publicist booked her segments. But she wasn't collecting their cards. And I was like, okay, don't you do another segment without collecting the booker's card? Because when you are in town, you could be in town on vacation. You don't have to go through a publicist to actually get there to pitch them. You can shoot the publicist an email, you can shoot the producer an email yourself, but you can only do that when you've knocked it out the park. And so I actually went with Patrice to her appearance in LA. And I was standing there with the booker who booked the segment for her. And the booker was like, oh my gosh, she is so good. Make sure you stay in touch with me, because he thought I was her publicist. I didn't correct him. But make sure you stay in touch with me, because I can definitely see us calling her in, to do afternoon, segments when we need a finance expert. And so I immediately told Patrice, I'm going to forward you this information because you don't need to go through a publicist to do this. You've knocked it out the park. They really like you. Now just continue the dialogue, okay? And what happens of how you really become a guest expert. That's what that is called, because you are a guest who is an expert in your field. It's called a guest expert. You want the producers to fall in love with you. And you do that by making sure you help them help you. And if some of you have been on my scope, Rashonda, the producer I mentioned earlier, she's always she comes in on my scope, so she backs up what I'm saying. And so even on today's scope, she was like, if you help me produce my segment, I'm going to fall in love with you. And so when you are going live in 3, 2, 1, when I'm teaching that in Mavericks, I teach you how to send the B-roll ahead of you. And B-roll is just footage or other things that will go ahead of you. Got to find his donuts. Always get a card. Okay. She's having fun and we can't see her. Oh, Shauna, shut up, Shauna. So, but you become a dream guest by making sure you show up looking good, making sure that your back end systems are tight. That's when you really start nailing your segments. All right. Let me take a drink of water, guys. Hold on. The other way you actually, start developing a relationship is what I teach in Mavericks called control your segment. And controlling your segment is that you learn to speak in sound bites. Shauna can speak directly to that, of me making her repeat. Sound bites, what's B-roll? B-roll is footage that you send ahead. It's like when they don't show you on camera, Marsha, and they cut away to your book cover, they cut away to you speaking. That's called B-roll, okay? But you also become a dream guest expert for them. What is back-end systems? Back-end systems are your nurture sequences that you have in place. So if you are driving people from the site, from the screen to your site, do you have the ability to collect emails? Do you have the ability to automatically, the minute somebody opts into your email list? So for those of you who've maybe been to iseemeontv.com, which is my site, the minute you actually give me an email, it immediately sends you what you just opted in to get, my free gift. Victoria, for some reason, my response is delayed by 5 minutes. Refresh your page, babe, because everybody else seems to be right behind. So, and then Tracy says, too, we caught up. Law and order. Oh, yeah, y'all are way behind. So, Tracy and Victoria, refresh your screen because you two are way behind. You're right, Victoria. That was like 5 minutes ago. So, by the time you hear this, it's going to be another 5 minutes. So, be sure to refresh your screen, okay? But you speak in sound bites, and sound bites are just short answers to the question. And that's what's going to make it easy for producers to love you. And what I teach my Mavericks is it's the subtle language too that you can use to get the viewer from your seeing you on TV to getting to the website. So when any of my Mavericks are actually on TV, we're talking about what language. When I work with Patrice, when I work with Shauna, when I work with Todd, we work on what is the language that you're going to be using to get. And you only don't forget, guys, you only got 3 to 5 minutes to do this. You only got 3 to 5 minutes to communicate that. And let me tell you, those 3 to 5 minutes, Shauna, nod your head. Those 3 to 5 minutes are going to go by in a blur. It will seem like you just showed up and it's over. And you're going to think, I did all of this preparation. I practiced I practiced my segment. It took me forever to get to the producers. You're going to look cute. You're going to spend an hour in makeup. You're going to spend another hour and a half trying to figure out what you're going to wear. I can help with the wardrobe. Oh yeah, that's right. Today's you the stylist. You're going to do all of that. And it's going to seem like it's a blur until your segment airs, whether it's a recorded segment or whether it's a live segment, and you step off stage and your phone starts indicating, right, I'm still trying to get my YouTube videos down to 3 to 5 minutes. Yep, Nicole, it's difficult. And that's what I have to work on my Mavericks with. It's going to seem like it's a blur until your phone starts indicating that people are opted into your email list. You know, it's going to seem like a blur when people are, start getting your free gift or going to your site and you see the sales. When you realize it's all worth it. But until then, I'm telling you, you're going to go through all of that and you ain't even going to remember. You're going to have to see the segment to see, what did I say? Was I present? Did I blink too much? Did I cross my legs? Did I say too many times? Did I stutter? You ain't going to remember a thing. It's going to be a blur. Vanessa says, I had a 4-minute segment on my local news station and didn't get one call. Oh, yes, Vanessa. That's when Mavericks that's when my Maverick starts coming to me because they're not using the right language. Yes. Okay. So, secret 6. This is our final secret. You can rinse and repeat everything I just taught you for a fraction of the cost of a publicist. How many, Ty, you don't have to answer because I know you are a publicist. My background in the beauty industry helps. Hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Got it. Yep. But you're going to spend more time putting your hair, getting your hair did, doing your makeup, and choosing the wardrobe than you're going to spend on air, Nicole. You're just going to be faster than everybody else, than the rest of us. But has anybody looked into a publicist? Does anybody know how much publicists cost? I'm waiting on y'all to catch up. A lot. No idea. Okay. So, Ty, you can testify to this. Yes. So on the low end, what was that? Said Robin said, out of my budget, whatever it is, out of my budget. So a publicist on the low end, I've had publicists that are $500, and what I've just discovered is they're not really that good of a publicist. And on the high end, so far, I had publicists. Yep, D, that was Charlie's Angels. On the high end, a publicist is $3,500 a month. And Ty, you can, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Ty. You can attest, you can back me up on this. And typically a publicist is going to need a 3-month retainer. So if on the low end, you're looking at $500 a month, or on the high end, you're looking at $3,500 a month times 3 to just get started, because that is the amount of time it's going to take them to really package you and start pitching you and things like that. So a publicist costs a lot of money. And the way that you can, a month, yes, is it KE or key? Yes, that's per month with a 3-month retainer. And so the way, what I teach in Mavericks, in the after the show, what's next portion of Mavericks, are there publicists in Mississippi? I don't know, Tamara. Ty, yes, ma'am, and that's being nice. Yvette, 33% of your fee. Yep, you're getting me. So the one thing of when you rinse and repeat this formula is that you have to get a copy of your segments. Y'all saw, for those of you who were here at the very beginning, you saw me play my promo reel, right? And you saw all of, that promo reel is relatively old. I still haven't added, more into I haven't added more into it of my recent segments. Yes, indeed, a lot of money indeed. Yes, Patrina. But you want to start building a promo reel. So you have to get your segment. And so you cannot rely on the station to just have a link to the station's website. Because let me tell you, stations actually archive their footage. So once they archive their footage, it's no longer on their website, and you got their link on your site. You've lost your segment. And so you need to have it in your computer so that you can work with it. You can build a promo. You can do all of that. Yes, God, you have to ask for it. Yes. And so the other thing is, when you're doing rinse and repeat, you actually just keep that line of communication open with the producer. You keep in touch with them either on Facebook or Twitter. Watch what they're up to. How do you build a promo reel? Can you have someone do it inexpensively? Okay, Ebony. I may not be the best person to ask that because my career is I'm a TV editor. Now, I didn't edit this one. One of my colleagues did it for me because I was too close to it. I can't edit myself. And my colleagues and I are not what people would consider cheap. You know, we are not inexpensive. So I would think, yes, you can have someone edit a promo reel. How good it will be, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know. Lisa says, what should we do with the old TV segments? Hold on to them and put them on your website, you know, and put them on your media page. So that when your site, and it says, Tanisha says, I know you're using older shows, music things. I know your age because I recognize the tunes. Yeah, you know I'm doing old school. But yeah, Lisa, you're going to put them on your website and make sure that they're available. Cheap isn't the best way to go. No, it's not. But if you don't have the budget, you don't have the budget. It's not cheap, but not $1 million. That still depends, Ebony, on who you find. But none of the people I know in my circle would be considered affordable. I'm choosing my words carefully, but it normally wouldn't. People normally balk when they find out how much my editor rate is, because I edit television, I edit Hollywood stuff, and so these are the same colleagues that do that, so they're paid top dollar. Range from 10 to 30K. You can maybe get a good promo if okay. So I'll put it to you that can do horrible work. You get what you pay for. I'll put it to you like this. That reel that y'all saw of mine at the top, if I was to pay for it, it would have easily probably been close to about $8 or $9 grand. So, and that's for 3 minutes, but it's the editorial and the time that goes into it and the producing that goes into it. But you can look around, Ebony, and maybe even see some students, film students or something at the local college. They may do it, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's recap. Secret number 1 was you get in where you fit in. You study the landscape. You figure out where you can fit. Secret 2, you newsjack. You can newsjack what's happening in the breaking news stories. Secret 3, you go in and you be a guest first. Maybe find an editor on Fiverr who are probably students. That is so good, developing relationships. Yeah, Patrina, are you behind too? Because we talked about in a minute, or you just typing that? Because we talked about that a minute ago, I think. That was like maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago we said that. Secret 3, because I'm wondering if you need to, the reason why I'm asking, Patrina, you may need to refresh your screen. So secret 3 is be a guest first. So apply for those. Are you a woman who, are you a man who for these different shows? Secret 4 was you can pitch yourself. You can pitch yourself. That's my sweet spot with Mavericks, that I teach you how to pitch yourself. I teach you my system of pitching yourself, but then I take it one step further of typically what a publicist doesn't do is I teach you then how to crush the segment so that you get invited back, okay? Secret 5 is you establish your own relationship with the producer, so that when you just are in town doing something that you don't have to go through a publicist, you already have a relationship with the producer. And secret 6 is rinse and repeat. Everything that I'm teaching you actually can be rinsed and repeated in different cities, in different industries. For instance, when I started pitching myself in media, I pitched myself based on reality TV. Writing my notes and typing. Oh, gotcha, Patrina. Okay. Secret 6 is the rinse and repeat, Victoria. And I pitched myself, and got booked on reality TV. So then when my 3rd book came out, the 6-figure battered wife, I was able to double back to those stations because I have standing invitations with each one of those stations. I was able to double back to them and pitch them my segment, The 5 Signs You're Sleeping Next to Crazy. The game didn't change. Same system, just different cities, okay? And the way to do that, and that's the steps of being a maverick, how I told you how to work with the secrets. You develop and location scouting. That's where you looking at the landscape. What shows do you fit on? When you're dealing with, what was the secret 2? I forgot what the secret 2 was. Secret 2 was newsjacking. where you newsjack, you craft your segments. My apologies, didn't get the post-production info. Okay, Victoria, what post-production info? Shauna, you know what she's talking about? What post-production info, Victoria? I don't know. I'm gonna need more clarity, Victoria, so I can answer your question effectively. And so then it's all about the pitch. Step 4, and step 3, counter the secret. You can pitch yourself. You can, and I walked you through the elements of a pitch. Then step 4 is production, going live in 3, 2, 1, positioning yourself to be a dream guest expert. Step 5 is production, controlling your segment, using language to get the viewer from the screen to your site. And then step 6 was after the show, what's next? How to leverage that into more media. Okay. Now, as I've already shown you guys, everything that I'm teaching you has been tried and tested. I told you guys I built Media Mavericks around my system and my mistakes. I teach from my mistakes. Oh, after the show, Victoria, such as get a copy of the show. After the show, what's next? That's getting a copy of your segment and incorporating that into your promo reel, Victoria. Are you with me? Okay. Let me go back to the chat. Okay. All right, let me take a drink of water, guys. Now, like I said, what I'm teaching is tried and tested. So here, you know, these are just a few of my mavericks. You met Todd, the donatologist Jones. In the middle, that's Danny Madrid. Her specialty is in domestic violence space. On the right is Tara Page. She's one of my private clients that she's based out of Dallas. She did an Emmy segment in Houston. We've got Anthony Alfonsia. He was on the Steve Harvey show because he helped Lisa Nichols lose like 40-some pounds. Then in the middle, we got my girl Tawana, who is the LinkedIn professor. And Tawana is one of 40 people in the world who has a Google and LinkedIn certification. And then on the right, we got my Maverick, who's also live here, Shauna Naylor. She was, yes, Tawana, original Maverick. That's right, baby. You were in the first class. If you want to get your life right in LinkedIn, you want to talk to Tawana. And so Shauna was on The Doctors. And then, of course, I introduced you to Patrice. So I want you to hear something Patrice recorded for me after she did her segment. So let me pull that back up, and you're gonna see. You should start seeing my screen cascade. You see my screen cascade, Shauna? Shauna, you froze. Anybody? Shauna, you see my screen? Okay.
What's up? This is Patrice Washington, the Money Maven of the Steve Harvey Morning Show. And I got to give a big shout out to my girl, TJ Mercer, the Media Maverick, because she just helped me launch what I believe is going to be the biggest campaign of my career thus far, definitely. The Earn More Money Movement for Women. Now, I had a passion to do this, you guys, and I know the principles, and I have tons of content on personal finance, on business, on success. I've written over 400 articles that have been all throughout media and blogs and everywhere, but I've never approached it with a sound strategy until now, until TJ pulled me to the side and said, girl, let's get this together. And I took the time and invested everything I had in spending that time with her. And she trained me like never before on how to turn that valuable content into sound bites that the media will eat up. And they did. First interview, Fox News, knocked it out the park, was invited back within 24 hours. TJ, that's because of you. The Earn More Money Movement, within 3 days of doing coaching with you, we're at over 5,000 women registered and ready to go. So if you're an author, speaker, coach, or someone who just needs to take their message to the media, I'm telling you, TJ Mercer is the one. Wisdom, her passion, her commitment to her clients. I don't even know how I could have done this week of all the media that I'm doing right now without you. I will never launch another campaign in the media without coming to you first. That's my word.
Okay. So that's my girl, Patrice, who I am terribly, terribly proud of because yearning to learn how to earn. Oh, I like that. The no higher than market 31. Okay, but how do we find out which shows are in which markets? Not sure what you mean by that, Gia, but I'm going to come back to that. Remind me to come back to that. Let me go back to my slides. Okay. So you heard from Patrice. Now, remember I promised that, okay, so our time is drawing down. And so I want to respect your time. That's how I got here by Patrice. Oh, that's what you mean, Nicole. Gotcha. Yes. I'll make sure I tell her that you were here. Okay, yearning to learn how to earn. Yes, Carol. This is the time where I'm going to actually now show you how you can get a little bit of TJ in your life. I like that. A little bit of TJ. Y'all remember that song? A little bit of Monica. Okay, sorry. I got to entertain myself sometimes. So I have two ways where people work with me. And you either can work with me one-on-one in what I call Media Mavericks Accelerate. And that's where you work with me for about 6 to 8 weeks to start getting you positioned in the media. And then the one, yeah, y'all know that song? Okay, stop laughing at me, Adrian and Chari. Don't be laughing at me. I'm just having fun. Mambo number 5. That's it, Mambo number 5 with Lou Vega. I think that's his name. And so Media Mavericks Masters is my 90-day group coaching program that I would love to, you were telling your age. I know it, Humpertrina. That's fine. I'm proud to be 43 years old. So Media Mavericks Masters is my 90-day group coaching program that I would love to tell you guys about because classes actually start next week. And so it is a 90-day program. I will be holding your virtual hands for 90 days. It's 6 video trainings and 6 live Q&A webinars. So how you see Shauna here, Shauna, that's how you would be with me because I'm teaching you TV, so I need to see you. So it will be an interaction. So on week 1, I'll deliver you your video training. Week 2, we will do our Q&A webinar. Week 3, I'm still a baby. Is that right, Dee? Week 3, you get a video training. Week 4, you're going to get your webinar, and that will alternate all the way till May. And by the time you're done with me, you are ready to actually be on TV. Now, understand something. My principle is I teach from TV perspective because that's what I, spent 20 years doing. But trust me, everything that I teach you is actually beneficial in all platforms because I expect my Mavericks to dominate. I expect them to dominate in the print space, in the radio space, in the TV space, in the Periscope space. And that's what you can use everything that I teach you in Media Mavericks Masters to do that. And then also you get access into the private Facebook group where the Mavericks are there, especially when we're, yes, 43 is still young. We are there, especially like, for example, we're working on what your hook is. What you'll do is you'll post your hook in the Facebook group. So your Mavericks are your viewers. Get that. The Mavericks that are your fellow Mavericks are also your viewers. So what better place to get feedback than your fellow Mavericks? And everything is recorded and it's yours forever. That's where the rinse and repeat. That's when the rinse and repeat aspect of the process kicks in. And then the other thing I want to say is I understand that life happens. So just because we may be on webinar 4, you may have questions still about you got behind in your work from video 2. It doesn't matter. I just want you to show up so I can help you get to the media quicker, sooner, faster. So let me break down when do you know when you're ready to be a Maverick. Okay, Tamara, I'm going to come back to that, okay? So let me just get through this, okay? I promise I'm going to come back to that. So for those of you who have questions, that's a good thing. For those of you who have questions, start flagging it like Tamara did so I can just scroll the chat and make sure I don't miss it. So Mavericks is a 6-phase process. Phase 1 is development and location scouting. That's when we will start drilling deep into how to figure out where you are a good fit for your segment, what you do in the world. Everybody is not a fit for Steve Harvey. Everybody's not a fit for Rachel Ray. So we have to figure out, where do you start? We talk about things of like, what's your Chiron? You know, Anthony Alfonso, my Maverick, I branded him the body contractor. Tara Page, I branded her the inner glamorist. So what do you want to be known for? Then we talk about how to give the audience a great gift so it gets them from the screen to the website. And then we also learn how to plan out a Maverick attack plan, your map. You will actually learn my system of every single time I actually go out for media. I'm going to walk you through that exact system of doing your own map. In phase 2 of crafting your segment, that's when I actually walk you through the 4 steps of creating the perfect segment. That's where I actually walk you through how to take your 15, your 20 years of expertise and drill it down into 3 to 5 minutes. How to story beat out your segment. And the story beat simply means of what are the highlights that you are going to hit in your segment. We cover that in the craft your segment portion. In phase 3, it's all about the pitch, no stutter. It's all about the pitch, no stutter. That's where we take what we've done in phase 2, which was crafting your segment, and then we need to craft it into a pitch. And what is cool, and to like some of my Mavericks who may still be here, is that I actually recorded myself pitching. So you get to see video recordings of me, what it took. So you not only will you get the scripts, of how to actually craft your pitch, you'll get to see the actual pitch in action because I recorded myself going after Miami. In phase 4, which is going live in 3, 2, 1. That's how you know, that's how they say it in TV. Going live in 3, 2, 1. That's phase 5. And that's where I give you a whole list of do's and don'ts. We walk through exactly what to do on camera, what not to do on camera, what to be aware of, and what to send ahead of time to actually start positioning yourself as the dream guest expert. I teach you how to recover when you mess up, because I'm saying when, not if, because you're going to mess up, right, Shauna? Don't I teach you that? I plan for you messing up, but not getting so off track that you cannot recover. So that's phase 5. And then phase 6, wait a minute. I think I got off track. So that was phase 4. This is phase 5. I'm sorry. My numbers are wrong, guys. I apologize. Phase 5 is actually controlling your segment. That is where my sweet spot shows up. That's how I teach you how to speak in sound bites. That's how I teach you the language you use to get people to opt in. That's where Patrice was talking about what I did for her, what I taught her, actually got her 5,000 opt-ins in 3 days. It is important for you to actually get the viewers from your TV screen to the website. So then here is the point where Shauna comes into play, because this is where, for those of you who submitted the option of having your segment done, this is where I get to show who I chose, and I chose Carol Davis. And Carol, I'm hoping you're live, but if not, you can listen to the replay. And let me pick it up. Shauna, you got your script? You got your script, Shauna? Okay, so you got to unmute yourself. There you go. Carol, can you hear me? Yay, Carol! So, Carol, this is me and Shauna. I wrote your script. You can take this now. Disclaimer, Carol. I don't know your brand like you know your brand, okay? Let's be clear. So some of this may be made up. Some of this may not be right. You can fix it and tailor it to what feels good for you, but at least it will get you thinking in the right direction. And Carol is she has a master's in psychology, and she is a motivational speaker, and she coaches people out of their dark places back into the light. And so, Carol, we're going to do your segment. So Shauna is going to be the host, and I'm going to be Carol. All right. So you ready, Carol? Yay, Carol! Everybody say yay, Carol!
Yay, Carol! Yay, Carol!
Okay. So Shauna, you go, and yeah, I wrote it from the host of being a man, Shauna, but you're a girl, so we'll just go with it. So you go. Ready, set, in 3, 2, 1. Shauna.
Well, we are back. The nation was shocked to hear the unexpected suicide of comedian and Oscar-winning actor Robin Williams. Whenever we discover the tragic suicide of celebrities who seem to live a charmed life, we are left with the question, why? Even in our daily lives, we are often baffled to learn that someone we loved and respected and from the outside looking in seemed to have it all together. Well, in the studio today, we have Carol Davis, she not only has a Master of Science in Psychology, but she also has firsthand knowledge of the level of despair a person can experience that they want to take their own life. From the age of 10 to 27, she says she has attempted more suicides than she could count. Carol Davis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shauna. Thank you for having me.
Carol, so you completely understand the depression one could fall into that causes them to make a drastic, permanent decision. Tell us a little bit about your journey, because you now help others cope with hopefulness and, as you say, live a life filled with joy.
That's right, Shauna. From the age of 10, I walked around with this deep sense of worthlessness. I mean, I put my knife to my chest right in front of my own mother. But my worthlessness started because of the psychological abuse I experienced from my narcissistic mom. And understand something, Shauna. Suicide goes way deeper than feeling sad or mad or even hopeless and helpless. It's not something you just snap out of. But, thank goodness I woke up and I decided to seek help. And that led me on a path of change. I made the choice to be happy and have joy, which is exactly what I teach my clients. Now, Carol, let me pause there. Carol, do you see what I did when I said, which is exactly what I teach my clients, you can have joy. That's the rest of the sentence. What I did there was I let the studio audience know, I let the viewers know that you actually coach people in this space. You see how I did it subtly? That it's just in the conversation. Because remember, a media maverick has a conversation, okay? So let's pick it up there. I make the choice to be happy and have joy, which is exactly what I teach my clients. You can have joy.
Wow, Carol Davis, that's powerful. And let me just say, I am so glad that you are still here with us. I'm so glad you did not succeed in those attempts. So what are some of the strategies a person can do to overcome these thoughts of depression, these feelings of worthlessness?
Excellent question, Shauna. Well, the first thing is to absolutely see a therapist and determine if the depression is chemically caused and perhaps meds need to be considered. Once that is ruled out, then I teach my clients, you see, I did it again. I teach my clients they can help themselves. And HELP is an acronym. And you can find it in other resources on my site, iwillhavejoy.com. Now, Carol, did you pick up what I did? That I use what you're going to talk about as an acronym, and I gave you your website. GoDaddy, as of last night when I crafted this segment, GoDaddy had this available, iwillhavejoy.com. You see how I got the viewers back to the site. So I will pick up. And you can find this and other resources on my site, iwillhavejoy.com. So H, hold off and hold on. Hold off on making any rational decisions. Don't even look to the future. Just concentrate on holding on to your now. Hold off on focusing on the future and hold on to the current moment. E, exercise. Now, I'm not talking, Shauna, about strenuous exercise like lifting weights or going for a long run. I just want you to get moving. When you exercise, your body releases chemicals called endorphins, and these endorphins interact with the receptors in your brain that reduce the perception of pain and can change the mood. If you can just motivate yourself to walk for 20 minutes, it can make a marked difference. Then L, listen to music loud, then dance. And again, this is just another form of movement. Listen to your favorite songs and sing and dance like nobody's watching, Shauna. And then finally, P, phone a friend. Depression makes us want to isolate, but you gotta fight to counter that. Let a trusted friend know what you're going through, and that so that you don't have to carry this burden alone.
Wow, those were some excellent tips, Carol Davis. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your work. Thank you so much for your courage that you have to help others.
Thank you for having me. So, Carol, I will email that to you. You can tailor it as you see fit. The one thing that you can apply, Carol, is the newsjacking aspect. So, unfortunately, suicide is common. So I don't doubt that there's going to be a celebrity at some point that may, unfortunately take his or her life. And that's where you can insinuate yourself into the conversation and be that voice for us who don't understand how someone who lives a charmed life can be that distraught to want to check out. And so that's one way to newsjack. Then I looked and I saw that it's National Suicide Prevention Month is in September. You need to start pitching, you're going to start pitching this around August of how you can have and go, and pitch this and get yourself booked. Okay, so and no, Carol, that is just an aspect of what I saw when I read one of your blogs, and it just jumped out to me and resonated. So I wanted you to see this as an option of what that could look like as part of your work of positioning yourself as the expert. So was that helpful, Carol? Was it helpful? Let me see. Did I miss it? Oh my God, you really are a beast. Okay, good. I'm glad. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that's my girl, Shauna Naylor of the Doctors. Yay! So, thanks, Shauna. Yes, TJ's a media beast. Amazing. Good. I'm glad you like it. See what observers are coming up that you can jack. Yes, thanks, Ty, for backing me on that. You have been blessed. This helped me out a great deal. Good. Okay, so good. So let me go back to my slides so we can wrap this up. We may be running a little behind, but I'm hoping you're finding all kinds of value. And so that was controlling your segment. So, and finally, the final phase of Mavericks is after the show, what's next? That's where I teach you how to get your clips, because sometimes segments, it's not it's not easy to get. How to leverage it, because the thing is, media begets more media, begets more media, begets more media. And we would, in Mavericks, we are going to discuss some of your questions and your challenges. So that's the 6 phases of Mavericks. Now, like I told you early, that you can do this one of 2 ways. You can go at this yourself and try to figure this out on your own, or you are making mistakes, or you can get a publicist or a booking service. And we've already talked about that. Publicists and a booking service is running you about $1,000 per segment as well. And they charge you a lot of money, and you still won't know how to do it yourself. And that's what the beauty of Mavericks. That's why I built Mavericks, so that you can do this yourself. You can book yourself, but then I actually teach you how to. I felt like a superstar with teaching on my team. Thanks, Shauna. Where I can teach you how to nail the segment and crush it. And you can see what I did with Carol, how she served, but she also got the viewer to her website. And you can do this by becoming a Maverick. Let me hold your hand. There's nothing that gives me much joy than when I see my Mavericks dispensing words that I've shown them how to, and I put the words in their mouths, or I've shown them how to craft it, because I love it. And Shauna will tell you, I was backstage screaming my head off watching her on The Doctors. And I had her up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning working on that, on that segment. So again, you can either spend 6 to 8 weeks with me, but this is about the 90-day group coaching program with classes that start next Thursday. It's 90 days with me, 6 video trainings, 6 live Q&A webinars. You get access to the private Facebook group and you have everything that you will need forever. So how many other segments down the line to next year? You know, if you just want to go ahead and jump in and say, okay, I ain't ready, but I know the rates of the investment is going to go up, Teach, but I want this for next year. So I have spring enrollment. I was going to take 30 people, and the people who I've done consults with, they snatched those spots up. So I now only have 12 spots left in this session of Mavericks that's going to start next Thursday, the 25th. The investment is $24.97 as a regular rate, but tonight's webinar, you can actually jump in and leap in for one payment of $19.97, which will save you $500. And also what I've done for those of you who, you know, have fallen in love with TJ, but didn't, didn't come with the mindset that they won't fall in love with me so much that they wanted to work with me. I have made monthly payment options available to you. So you can actually do a 2-pay, a 3-pay, and a 4-pay. Let me pop this on. Hold on, guys. Let me do something. There you go. So you can go ahead and either pop over to the website. I just popped that link in there for you. And, but yeah, you can do a single pay will save you the most, obviously, but then you can do the 2-pay, which is monthly payments, a 3-pay of $732, or 4-pay of $574.25. Now, but wait, there is more. Hold on, I want to make sure I don't miss something. So remember I told you guys earlier that my goal with Media Mavericks is you will dominate all platforms. You're going to dominate in the print space, the online space. You're going to dominate on radio. You're going to dominate on Periscope. That is my goal for you. So what I've done is I've also included bonuses. I've included bonuses that are valued at $1,200 by itself. You know, the bonuses are worth that. So, and you're going to get this in addition to the whole Media Mavericks program. And I created bonuses based on it complementing what I'm already teaching you. So the first bonus is 4 LinkedIn hacks to get to producers. That's by Tawana Ross. You heard me mention Tawana earlier. Tawana is a beast in the LinkedIn space. And she was going to teach us how to use LinkedIn to get to the producers. So then there's April Beverly. April Beverly is my copywriter. She writes my marketing copy. So I got her to create something called 5 surefire ways to master the click-worthy subject line. And that's the part where I told you, you've got to hook the producers, and you hook them by having a good subject line. So April has created something for us to actually develop that out. Then we've got the Dream Big writing module. That's by Patrice Tart. Patrice is actually a beast in the printed space. She's been featured for BET.com, Huffington Post, and I forgot the other one that she did. It was another big one. My mind just escaped it. But in either case, Patrice is supporting your journey of dominating in the print space. And then Brandy Butler is a podcast genius. And Brandy is teaching us how to dominate in the podcast space. And then my Maverick, Lakeisha Singletary. Lakeisha is an SEO genius. She's that website. She builds websites and things like that. So she's teaching you how to blog and how actually using keywords and SEOs to actually dominate in the blogging space. Because I want my Mavericks to be completely well-rounded, dominating all forms of media. So you get all of those bonuses plus the whole Media Mavericks program that you can rinse and repeat for about half of what you will have to pay a publicist. But wait, there's still more. If you decide that you are jumping in before we end up the webinar in a few minutes, and you're one of the first 7 people who say, I need some TJ in my life, that you showed up knowing that I was an answered prayer of helping you get exposure, of teaching you how to actually get producers to respond, of helping you go from being in relative obscurity to now having as seen on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. If that is you and you go ahead and jump in to be a Maverick at $19.97, I am going to give you a one-on-one session with me. My one-on-one sessions are $1,000 each. And I'm going to actually pay for you to have the first clip from the station that you book your segment with. So remember, I told you how important it is to own your segment. I am going to pay for that, and that's a value of $100. So you can click over to iwannabeamaverick.com or click on the button there if you want to make sure you reserve your spot and get that one-on-one session with me. And if you have any doubt of what a one-on-one session is worth, this is my brand new Maverick, Lynn Hurdle. Lynn actually booked a 15-minute consult with me. And so she then wrote this a few days later after she joined to Mavericks she hadn't even taken the class. This is just what came up of how I helped her in her one-on-one with me. So she says, so for those who don't know the incredible beast that TJ Mercer is, let me just share. I signed up as a new media Maverick on Sunday after a dynamite free consultation with her on Friday. Yesterday, because I actually helped her craft her interview. I knew she was having that interview, so I gave her some tips on how to do better in the interview. They know tips. She changed what she was going to do in the interview because of what I taught her. And she said, yesterday I was interviewed by Dr. Brenda Wade on LeGrand Green's podcast. He is a former Oprah producer. She has been on Oprah numerous times. She has been on Oprah numerous times, and using what TJ suggested in our consult, what was supposed to be a 30-minute interview ran a full hour, and they booked me for Dr. Wade's relationship podcast on March 1st. She wasn't even a full Maverick yet. She hadn't taken a class. She hadn't done anything. So if you're wondering how valuable is a one-on-one session with me, that's how valuable it is. So if you are one of those 7, I encourage you to get over there now. And like I said, I only have 12 spots left of taking Mavericks for this round. It is $19.97, and the program is worth $24.97. I have no qualms about saying that. But this enrollment period is going to be $19.97. I've broken it down into the payment options. Once you go over there to iwannabeamaverick.com, you get to choose, which option works best for you on a monthly basis. Now, let's hit the Q&A. Let me make sure. Does this work only for nonfiction authors? No, KC, but you have to work a little differently. You still have to apply your WIIF TV, meaning what's in it for the viewer. So you going and pitching your new, fiction novel is not really serving the viewer. You're only pretty much going to see big authors do that. So you have to go in the door a little differently. How can you serve the audience? How can you actually be a little more provocative with your book? Is your book, going to rub people the wrong way? You have to figure out a different angle to get into the door. And you'll get into the door easier with lower markets. So I'm going back to make sure I didn't miss some questions that I promised to answer. I need y'all to flag them for me. Okay, so here, Gia. Okay, I can probably explain better if I can request to speak. Just let me know when it's okay for me to request. What was the question, Gia? And then Tanya, will I still be credible as a new graduate in the business industry? Will I still be considered as an expert? What is your lane? What is your lane, Tanya, if you're still here? What is your lane? And then is either Chanda or Chanda. Was tonight's session recorded? If we missed the first 4 tips, any chance we can see that? I couldn't access the first part on phone. Yes, your replay is going to hit in the morning. So yes, you'll have the replay. The replay will be good for a week. And then when do you know when you're ready to be a Maverick? Well, that's a good question, Tamara. Do you already have an identity of who you are in the marketplace? Do you have a clear idea of what you want to accomplish when you do media? If I say to you, coming up on after the break, and this is Steve Harvey talking, coming up after the break, we've got Tamara in studio, and she's going to teach us how to. Do you have a clear idea of what that is? So I'm going back. I'm scrolling back up to see, has anybody, this is, okay. Tanya is Stephanie says, I want to be a Maverick. Stephanie, did you hit the buy button over there? Did you hit the register button? Did you go and make sure you won the first 7? Customer experience consultant. Customer experience consultant. Okay. You're new to that. Okay, gotcha. So you can actually, speak on as a person who studies it, what your experience has been, how you watch social media. There's all different kinds of ways that you can actually go at it, that it's not necessarily you speaking from the expert, but versus what you are observing. So Tanya, whatever your last name, is a person that studies the market of social media and how companies can better be better at their customer service experience. And then also, Tanya, for you, I would actually, Lisa, I'm in. Woo! Go, Lisa! Go, Lisa! Go, Lisa! Go, Lisa! Go! Go, Lisa! Go, Lisa! Go! Okay, so I would also suggest sometimes that if you don't even start in the TV market, you start in, the print or radio space and start building credibility there. If you guys go and look at one of my periscopes that I call Lead Times, LEAD, you will see how I broke down different. It always looks at me and I'm like, "Ooh, that light makes my forehead look bigger than what it is." The lead times are different from each platform of media. So, Entrepreneur Magazine may have a 6 to 8 month lead time, but entrepreneur.com is hungry. So then you can actually submit articles that are on within 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. But when you come into being a media maverick, I still have some mavericks who have not done TV, and that's totally fine. But they're doing radio interviews, they're blogging, they're dominating Periscope because they haven't got to the point where they actually want to go to the next level, and that is totally fine. You may not want to do TV. That's why I'm saying TV, I'm teaching the standpoint because that's where I have experience, but everything I teach you is applicable to every lane of media. Okay? Ebony, TJ, as a national brand ambassador for P&G, featured in Ebony Essence, I've been teaching people how to work with brands, and I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know what I'm reading the question. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I've been teaching people how to work with brands and become a key influencer. I want to get more exposure doing that. Okay. I've done some local TV, but want to do more. Absolutely. You can teach people how to make money being a brand ambassador. Make sure, guys, that you understand when I said to you, like, I go in the door as a reality TV coach. I tell my mavericks, I don't care how you get your foot in the door. I had a consult. She's one of my new mavericks, and she does. She came to me wanting to know how to do exposure for her hair show, Kenya. She come to me want exposure for her hair show, and I told her, like, okay, but we got to get you in the door first. Come to find out, she's a beast at network marketing. Like, she has like 3 to 4 different network marketing businesses that she's a genius at, and she has a skill set of how to really network. So what I'm telling her, okay, we're gonna craft a segment about how to network because that's something valuable. That's the same thing with you, Ebony. You can go in the door different ways. You have to get creative of how that looks, and that's really something we would start unpacking in Media Mavericks of how do we get our foot in the door. I mean, you can, because I'm assuming you can make money being a national brand ambassador, right? Right? What is Market 31? I can't remember, Gia. I can't remember what Market 31 is, but I give, there is a document that I give all my Mavericks that lists the stations 1 through 100. So you know exactly where to start pitching close to where you are. How do we know which shows are in that particular market? That's when you have to research, and that's when Google is your friend. You know, that's when Google is your friend. And that's one of the first things we do in the first week of Mavericks is I walk you through exactly how to get to that information. So if you're going to be going to Atlanta, how do we find the shows in Atlanta? That's where I talk about the Maverick attack plan of how to really build a cost-effective media tour. What is your Periscope? Reality TV, Victoria. Reality TV. Shauna, you type that for me? Missy, you are so awesome. Thank you. Ebony, yes, ma'am. Okay, so I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to just share this last story, and then we're going to call it a night. Thanks for hanging, guys. We actually are running longer. We're a little late, but hope it was all valuable and worth the time to share. I'm not sure how I fit in with my niche of coaching caretakers. You mean, you know, people who are, taking care of aging parents and things like that, Andrea? While you're answering that, Andrea, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and then I'm gonna come back and answer your story, okay? So we don't hold everybody. And I'll tell this story, then I'll come back and make sure there are no more questions, okay? So before we go, I just want to share this with you guys. So the reason why there is a media maverick really is partly because of this woman. Her name is Janine Macklin, who I call J Mac. And J Mac was getting ready for an event in LA, and so she called me one Saturday morning and was like telling me what the event was, and I said, Jay, you need to actually do some media for this. And I did her segment, and I didn't even realize. I was just laying in the bed chilling, talking to my girl. And so she was like, T, did you realize what you just did? And I was like, no, what did I do? And she said, you just did that in 8 minutes. And I was like, okay. She was like, no, you don't understand. People will pay for that. People will pay for you to do what you just did without even thinking, because it's what you've done for 20 years. You spent 20 years doing it. She said, girl, you get ready to actually come up with a program. I'm getting ready to go on Facebook right now and tell them I just talked to my friend TJ. Y'all better get in line for what she's about to do. And I'm her first client. And lo and behold, that's exactly what she did. She went and actually posted it on Facebook. So it actually pigeonholed me into, okay, I got to go create this thing. And so my coach is Lisa Nichols. I'm sure some of you guys know Lisa. She's the author of Chicken Soup for the African American Soul. She has a new book out called Abundance Now. If you look at page 53, you may see a name that sounds familiar. Hint, 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 hint. And so I got with Lisa, and Lisa really started helping me craft it and what it could be and what it could look like. And it was such an honor. Lisa is in Atlanta right now, and her publicist and her marketing team had not booked her in Atlanta media for her live event, Abundance Now. And I was able, for everything that Lisa has done for me, I was able to intervene and get her booked in Atlanta in less than 2 weeks. So she's actually going to be on Atlanta plugged in tomorrow, because I intervened when her publicist and her marketing team had not really kind of did their job. It's like, how are you going to be in Atlanta and not do media? And so I intervened. And so it really was an honor that she helped me really see what was possible in this program. And then when I started Mavericks, when God told me to start Mavericks in July of last year. So Mavericks, I just started Mavericks in July. I told him, God, it would be really cool that in 2016, I can have, I would love to have 2 Mavericks on TV at the same time in different cities. And then I was like, and it would be really cool to have a Maverick on national media, And so in September of last year, far ahead of my expectation, I had a Maverick on in Houston. That's on the far left. I had a Maverick on in Orlando. And then the very next day after that, I had a Maverick on in the Philly area. So those are my local that I actually, exceeded my expectation. And then I had a Maverick on the Doctors, a national show before the end of the year, December, which is Shauna. So God just took my little vision and blew it up well past what I imagined. And I'm sure all of my Mavericks who are currently out there doing things, Tawana, can speak to things that as a byproduct of Maverick, or what she's doing in the speaking space because of what she's learned in Maverick. And I'm sure they are so glad that I got over my fear and I got over my anxiety and my hesitation, because I was there to serve them. And so what I want to say to you is, I remember when I started, the last thing I want to share is when I was going back and forth with God about, are you sure I'm supposed to be doing this? And I don't know if you guys have been in this state before, but you're always in that state of getting ready to get ready. You're getting ready to get ready. I'm getting ready to start my business. I'm getting ready to, get out of this relationship. I'm getting ready. You're always getting ready to get ready. And that's where I was when one day I finally, I heard him clearly say to me, it's time for you to leap. And because I teach in acronyms, the way he said it, I knew LEAP was an acronym, and it didn't take him long to reveal that, what the acronym was. And so I want to share this with you as a parting thought before I go back to answering questions, that LEAP means listen and get clarity. Listen to God's voice and get clarity, get instruction. E is, oh gosh, I just pulled a blank. What's E? Oh, express your fear. That's E. Express your fear, because you're going to have it. Anything that's game changing, that's uprooting your life, that's changing you, you're going to have fear. You might as well go ahead and get it over with and express it. But right after you express it, you've got to do the A. The A is activate your faith. Stand on your history. Stand on what God has already done. Whatever your belief system is, whether it's the universe, whatever your higher power is, stand on that and activate your faith. And so then when you've listened and gotten clarity, when you've expressed your fear, and when you have activated your faith, the last thing to do is P, pursue. Pursue with everything you have. And I can guarantee you, my Mavericks are so glad that I pursued. I did not have the whole plan. I was building the plane as I was flying it. And as a result, still is out there and they're doing things. They're getting exposure. So is it time for you to take the leap? Is it time for you to stop being the best kept secret? Is it time for you to bring exposure to your product, to your brand, to your message? Is it time for you to take the leap? I can work with nervousness. I can work with anxiety, but I need you to have the confidence that come hell or high water, you know that you are a beast at that, at what you do. If you're a beast at, customer service, are you a beast at LinkedIn? Are you a beast at engineering? Are you a beast at life coaching? Whatever your lane is, I can work with it. As long as you show up knowing you got a heart to do this. I can coach you out of the nervousness and the anxiety, but you got to show up and be willing to play and take a stand. Can you imagine had I not taken a stand for my beast modeness and saying, I'm able to do this, let me help you, what that would have looked like? Is it time for you to take the leap? With that said, we're going to close it out. I'm going to scan the chat to make sure that they're still, y'all still hanging. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I have addressed everything. Thanks for responding. I have a unique circumstance in which I share with you via phone, text later after your webcast. At least I feel is unique to anything you've mentioned in the webcast. Okay, Gia. Patrina says you made room for you. Thank you. Yes, your gift made room for, yes, it did. I'm getting tongue-tied because I've been talking for about 2 hours. So is there any other questions before will it be more difficult if you live in the New York City market? No, it won't be more difficult, but I wouldn't start you in the local market, Key. We would have to look at other options, like are there local cable stations in New York that you can actually, if you've never done media, what other ways can we slide you in to get experience? Like what other cities can you go to practice in the lower markets that's not the number one market? New York is number one, LA is number two, Chicago's number three. So, there are creative ways around that. How can your training help publicists like your Mavericks publicist? Well, that's a good question, Ty. My Mavericks publicist, she knew how to book herself on Huffington Post Live. She booked herself. But when it came down to how to leverage it, how to control the segment so that it actually has impact and could get the viewers from, watching the segment onto her website, then that's where I had to teach her that language. I had to teach her and coach her through how do you do that. That's not necessarily a skill that all publicists have. Hence she's my Maverick. So I hope that answers your question. I have a sewing and embroidery business. How does that fit? Well, where are you, Dion? What city? Patrina says, man, I feel like you need a benediction. Pass the collection plate. The doors of the church are open. You are more than welcome, Rochelle. Such a blessing. My goal for my coach this year. Yes, yes. I'll be there this weekend. Oh, Adrian, you're going to see Lisa. I have Lisa's book. Carol, page 53. You're going to find a familiar name. Ty, yeah, Ty. When I do media, Ty saying right, definitely answers my question. It's hard to manage myself. Ty, I'm the same way. You know, when I am preparing to do media, I call my TV friends and I make them practice with me. Because the thing is, guys, it's hard to actually look at yourself and critique it. We're too close to ourselves. So we need something on the outside to do that. So I actually go to my producer friends and make them listen and make me crack, and they drill me. So that's totally normal, Ty. Andrea, I think I figured out how to benefit from the course. Yes, tell me how. And then did you click that button to make sure you one of the first 7? This is a blessing. Future Maverick. Yay, Donna. Let me see, after this was, are you asking Teresa, can you call me after the presentation? Is that what you're asking? Because it says, may I can you, I'm assuming you mean, may I call? Is that what you mean? Pat, I have sisterhood organization. How do I get the word out when women getting along? I'd like to help with that. Is this a market? Okay, wait. And guys, it's okay if you need to log off. I will stay here and answer questions, you know, as much as I need to. So I'm good. But we're done. I've emptied my tank for the night on teaching. Now I'm just answering the questions, okay? So if you want to say good night, it's all good. So Pat, I have a sisterhood organization. How do I get the word out about women getting along? I like to help with that. I'm trying to see what you're saying, Pat. Give me some more clarity, Pat. How do you get more exposure about night, Den Ray? How do you get more exposure? Is that what you're asking about the organization? What's the official hashtag for post? I missed it. Media Mavericks. And want to give a good tweet testimony. Oh, thank you, Ebony. Media Mavericks. Julia, wonderful as usual. Thank you. Pat, give me more clarification. Okay, and then Teresa, I still don't know what you meant. If you mean, may I call you after the presentation? Can we do tomorrow, perhaps, Teresa? Because I'm going to be talked out. Do you mind if I do tomorrow? Let me see. What time is it? 7? If you give me like a 15-minute window, then yeah, you can do that. After I log off, just let me get time to exhale. And I just posted the number in the chat box, okay? Do women want to get along with each other? Yes, I think so. And you can talk about communication, you know, how to, you know, recover back, you know, friendships. I mean, you have to really kind of think about it. But if that's what your expertise is in, I wrote a book about how women can have positive relationships with each other. I scheduled my 15 minutes for Tuesday. Okay, good, June. And by the way, my consults are closed. I've officially closed the consult. So glad you got in, June. Tomorrow it's good. Okay, Teresa. Teresa, will you send me your number? Or are you able to just send me your number directly to me so you don't have to put it out in the public? Can you change the chat to say to TJ so I can get it and I'll call you? I wrote a book on how women can have positive relationships with each other. Stephanie, which button do I click? Stephanie, go to, here, I'll type it in chat because maybe the offer is gone. So go to iwannabeamaverick.com is where you can go. Pat says, please open the consoles, please. Pat. Okay, Pat, let me just think about it because I'm in the middle of the launch and because Mavericks class is open on Thursday. So let me just think about how I can make that happen. Thanks, Pam. You're there for me. Okay. Pam. Oh yeah, Pam. Can you? Let me see. How do we do this? Pat, what's your? I will call you tomorrow. I think I need your help. Okay, good, Pat. Ebony says I'm with Pat. The consult would be amazing. Yeah, I got to figure out my schedule because I have one-on-one clients and everything. But how about this? How do we do this? If you are really serious about investing in Mavericks and you want to talk to me more about how it could look for you, then I could figure that out. But, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. At this point, I got to focus on my Mavericks. That's only fair. When you're enrolling, I've got to focus on serving them and getting them media. So if we're going to really take up time from that, it has to be, I need you to be really, really serious about investing in Mavericks so that I can make sure I don't spread myself too thin. Is that fair? Would you say that's fair? I want to make sure I don't spread myself too thin for my Mavericks because the classes start next week. So if you are on your word saying, yeah, I'm dead serious, but I just need to have some more clarification, I will create time for that. But I really, want you to honor me and what I put out into the world. Y'all know I give, and my Mavericks will tell you, I give. Tamara, I'm already in I'm reading chat. Let me finish one thought. And so I just want you guys to just, give me grace of knowing that I'm one person trying to make sure I serve at the highest level possible. So, unless you are really, really serious and you just want, you need to just have some more TJ time, then I will figure out, and Pam and I will figure out, KJ, I cannot switch to, can I inbox you? Yes, Teresa, by all means, inbox me on Facebook. And Pam will start getting that schedule for me. Pam is my assistant, so she'll start getting that schedule. But thank you for honoring that, Ebony, that I got to be fair to my Mavericks. I really do, because they deserve the best from me. Especially they spending this kind of money, they deserve the best. So I have to make sure I take care of myself for that. So if that's you, Pam just posted, hi there at icmeontv.com. If you are really serious, email Pam and she will start working on my calendar to start plugging you guys in to have the conversation. But if nothing else, guys, if I've addressed everything, you are more than welcome. It's my honor. So if I've addressed everything else, Teresa, did you see Pam put in hi there at icmeontv? Can you do that for me again, Pam, so they can see it? So that if you are really serious, go ahead and schedule it. Pam and I will work it out. But if nothing else, I'm going to say good night because I talked to y'all for over 2 hours. So I'm empty for the night. So I'm going to go just sit on my couch and watch some Family Guy. And maybe watch, I told y'all earlier, I just like watching mindless, I told this on Scope that I'm a violent movie kind of girl, so I'm going to find me a violent movie. And don't forget, you can follow me on Scope for media tips. I'm at Reality TV Coach. I do media tips weekdays at 2:30. Have a wonderful weekend. Oh my gosh, Tanya, thank you. Will you blow that up on social media? This is the best webinar I've ever experienced because I've never stayed on longer. I will be a future Maverick. Great. Oh my gosh, yeah, because y'all hung with me. A lot of y'all are still here hanging with me, almost going out over 2 hours. So everybody, hug yourselves for me. We are going to say good night. And if you follow me on Periscope, I always say we're at the end of our night. So tomorrow, go make God smile. And in my case, I am going to make him laugh. Okay, Tamara, wait. Okay, so everybody, good night. I'm going to answer Tamara's question because I remember that question. I'm already in a smaller market. I believe my fear is not being looked at as an expert in other markets. Why are you worried about other markets, Tamara? Let's make sure you nail the smaller market first. Before y'all go, here's a good thing. ABC has Good Morning America. So ABCs and other markets are being watched by Good Morning America. If you start doing the things that I tell you of newsjacking, Nail the smaller markets, Tamara, and get really good at those. Don't try to actually, run and you haven't crawled. The media will come. Remember, media begets more media, begets more media, begets more media. Nail the smaller markets and build to higher levels. Start being positioned as the expert, and then the other markets actually will start taking notice. Does that make sense? I will be with you, Tanya, next class. Put it in the budget. That's so cute. I love that. I love when people I've had people tell me, you were on my vision board. I've heard people, girl, I'm saving money for you. That is just my honor. Thank you. So Tamara, did that answer your question? Because y'all can tell I'm getting tired. I'm burping and all that stuff. So you can tell I'm getting tired. But did that answer your question? I want to make sure that answers your question, Tamara. Worry about, nailing your smaller markets. Because at the end of the day, you want influence. You want these people coming to your website and starting to talk about you, and all of that good stuff. Thank y'all for loving on some TJ. And if I hope I've addressed everything, because if not, then meet me on Periscope. I'll answer questions. Shoot Pam at hi there at I See Me on TV an email, and we can have a conversation. I'm going to start saving monthly. I will be a maverick. I love it. All right, to all my future Mavericks, mwah, mwah, hug yourselves for me. Thank you for letting me be who I get to be. Thank you for allowing me this time to play with you. Thank you for allowing me to put my genius and pour into you for these 2 hours. Y'all have no idea what it means to me, but if you follow me on Periscope in the mornings when I'm Periscoping, you'll start learning that I'm a big old crybaby. So I'm going to disconnect now before I head there with the tears, because I get to do this. I get to do this, and it is my honor. So with that said, mwah, mwah, mwah. Night, night, guys. Bye.